What's going on, guys? Rank Up Gaming here. Welcome back to the video. Now, I do want to get back into the schedule of usual videos and try to get them out, but of course I'm always busy, so I'm not always going to be able to do that. This video should be up on a Friday, and that's not usually the date. Usually it's a Thursday, so if it's on a Friday, then unfortunate, and I'll try and get the schedule sorted as soon as possible. But today's video is an episode of Versus, and this week we're talking about tanks, especially the land ship versus the heavy tank. Now, these are two tanks that are very similar, and for the most part, if you're deciding about a tank that's really going to go and be the massive obstacle with a lot of squad support, it's going to be between these two. Obviously, the light tank is a great option, but only has one person in it. Now, I'm going to compare different areas of these tanks and basically see which one works better in different areas, and then say which one I think is best overall. So the first area is driver's ability. Now, this obviously depends on the variant for the land ship. For the most part, I believe you have a machine gun with two of the variants, and for one of them you do get a Tiger anti-tank gun that isn't very powerful. It's basically just a really big sniper rifle. Now, the land ship is basically designed to be more effective from the sides. It's meant to be that you go up and drive the tank and that the side gunners have the best effect and can deal the most damage. The driver isn't really meant to do a lot except for drive the tank, get the gunners in position, and maybe take out a few infantry or do minor damage to certain tanks. Obviously, he does have a mortar in one of the variants and he has all the special abilities, but again, it's really designed for those side gunners to be the most effective. Now, the heavy tank, the driver can do a lot more than just drive the tank. He, of course, gets actually a cannon he can use. Now, this does mean, of course, that the side gunners are less effective, but if you want to go up and use a heavy tank on your own, you can certainly do that and be super effective, or not have to change seats constantly or work out which seat is which side to change there and take out enemies. You can simply turn the tank around and shoot using the cannon. Of course, he does have other abilities like a sort of scattergun, a sort of shotgun for the tank show, and a bunch of other things like that really make the driver of the heavy tank quite a difficult enemy to take out. So because of this, of course, the heavy tank does win, again, because it's just so much more effective in terms of one person being able to drive it, operate it, and shoot from the cannon, as opposed to you needing 3 people in the land ship to make it the most effective. Of course, you can do it with 2 or even 1 person, but it's nowhere near as effective. Now, the second topic is the support gunners. Now, again, this depends on variant. Obviously, for the land ship, you have the 2 cannons at the side, and of course, these have varying abilities. Typically, it's a cannon and the scattergun, but I do believe they change once or twice, and of course, you can get the flamethrowers on the heavy, although it is usually just the machine guns. Now, this one is kind of obvious, mostly because of the fact that the land ship is designed to be more effective by using the support gunners. The heavy tank is designed to be a sort of support tank where the driver can do a lot, while the land ship is designed to mean that the side gunners have the most effect of everything and would do the most damage. Sure, it's slightly difficult to use those, but if you can really work out how to use them, point them in the right direction, and work with your squad to use those side guns, they are super effective. Again, the heavy tank is still very powerful, the flamethrowers are pretty menacing as they are, but for the most part, the land ship does dominate when you have a full squad with you. So for that reason, the land ship wins this topic. Now, the next one is usability. Which one is the easiest to use and you can just hop into it without much thought and basically use it to much effect. Now, the land ship is very different from basically any tank we've ever seen in Battlefield before. Once again, it's designed so that the side gunners have the most effect and are the main focus behind using the tank. The heavy tank is, in comparison, very simple. It's got a gun at the front, a driver, and a few side gunners. It's extremely similar to things we've seen before in Battlefield, and for that reason, the heavy tank is clearly the easier one to use and has the better usability. You can quite simply hop in the heavy tank and use it without much thought, while with the land ship you've got to think about, okay, my gun is on my right side, I have to go this way to get behind that tank. With the heavy tank, you can just go up and dominate, use the scattergun, use the tank gun, use the other abilities you have available to you, and really do pretty well. The land ship is also reasonably difficult to control. The heavy tank is a lot slower, more clumsy, and is honestly a giant iron box, but occasionally with the land ship you find that the wheels at the top or at the back get caught on things, the guns can't see properly, or the gun mounts get stuck on flags. There's a bunch of things that really make it difficult to use, and if you're not aware of, can make this tank massively ineffective. Used right, the landship can be amazing and really easy to use, especially if you have good communication with your gunners and your squad mates, but for the most part the heavy tank is much easier to use. If you get somebody to play Battlefield 3 and then get them to play Battlefield 1 and they haven't played it before, they'll use the heavy tank and instantly know how to use it and what to do with it, while with the landship it's going to take some thought, and for that reason of course the heavy tank wins. Now for the final topic, effectiveness, both of them can be extremely effective. I've seen multiple people in both these tanks go up and dominate an entire game. And for the landship, it's really about using your squad mates or even using your abilities in the tank to the best effect. If you can really dominate with this tank, then you know what you're doing, and clearly that you can go ahead on a massive kill streak and really take over the game. The guns on the side are extremely powerful, and if you can point them in the right direction they can do massive damage, especially if you can line both of them up in one tank or one objective and just deal massive amounts of damage to that. It's not really going to have much to do and you're probably going to get a couple of kills. But I do think that the heavy tank is the more effective, based on the fact that it's more simple, it's more powerful because the driver has an ability, the driver can move, avoid shots, hit it. Sure, it's a big target, but the driver has pretty easy visibility in terms of where he's being shot from. Weirdly, I find this tank is very good for glancing shots. If you play Battlefield 1 and you've shot at a tank before and you do 2 damage, that's because your shot actually glanced off the tank. Now, this tank, for me, has this effect the most often. Whatever it is about those curved nose or the sides, I just always seem to glance a shot off the tank, and for that reason, it is reasonably hard to take out. Although obviously, not every time you're going to get a glancing shot, it will seriously help you when that does happen. If used right, the heavy tank can also dominate with a massive squad, and that's why I think this is the better one. It does what the landship does, as well as the landship does it, but it also does more of what tanks in Battlefield 3 and 4 did, and does that well as well. It can still be easily taken out, and you do have to really know what you're doing to go on a massive kill streak, but the amount of times that I've gone on a kill streak and dominated the game, or other people have gone and dominated the game in a heavy tank, is huge in comparison to the amount of times people have done it in landships. Usually with landships you see them sort of bumbling around on the ground somewhere between trenches, and they'll have a decent effect, but eventually somebody will leave it alone, it'll get blown up, or simply they'll just get bored, leave the tank behind and run away. Now, one thing I will say about both these tanks is that your teammates will let you down from time to time. Occasionally you find that you try and point them in the right direction and they won't do anything and will simply avoid enemies nearby or fail to take them out. This can be super annoying and is definitely something to think about. If you can use a teammate and actually talk to them in this tank, either tanks really, it's so much more effective than just hoping they do the right thing. So in conclusion, I do think the heavy tank is more effective for all those reasons I've stated, and although I do think that you can of course do well with the landship, and if you're going to have to choose one of them, it does depend on what the map is, what the game's been like so far, and what you know best. If you have lots of squad mates and you're all talking, the landship might actually be the better option. If it's just you, then the heavy tank is probably the better one because you can use it on your own to much better effect than you can the landship. But once again, it usually matters on how many people you're with, what map, and what the game is turning out like. You know, if they have more armor than you, if they have more assaults than you, or certain things like that, like the map. Once again, that will obviously have an effect. And again, it matters on multiple variables. Now, hopefully you enjoyed. Don't forget to like, share and subscribe. I will be getting Mass Effect Andromeda, which is a game I'm massively excited for. I'm a big fan of the Mass Effect series. I'll be playing all of the games from that series until this one comes out. I can't wait to do that. I haven't done it yet. I'm not going to record it, by the way. I'm just going to play them myself. And I'm wondering if you guys would like to see some Mass Effect Andromeda gameplay. Obviously it's not going to be early, I don't have that kind of privilege yet, but I will have gameplay out, possibly giving you some tips about best weapons to get, the best way to use the rover, and all certain things like that to kind of help you get an understanding for the game. So tell me if you'd like to see that down below in the comments, but until then guys, Rank Up Gaming, out.